Welcome to Call the Nurse, life support for the stories that don't make it in the chart. Because not all wounds are visible and not all healing is clinical. I'm Mindy, a nurse, a mom and wife, and someone who's lived through pain, joy, and everything in between. Each week, I'll be sharing life experiences, not only from the front lines of nursing, but we'll dive into the raw and unfiltered moments of parenting and marriage, and also explore what it truly means to heal body, mind, and heart. So whether you're going through your own personal transformation or just need a place to feel understood, you've come to the right place. So take a deep breath. You're not alone. Let's talk about it. Let's call the nurse. Today's guest is Ashleigh Ignelzi. She is the practice director at NassifMD, plastic surgery and med spa. And with over a decade of experience elevating aesthetic practices, launching med spas, and mentoring industry leaders. From Emmy-winning sports reporter to powerhouse leader in aesthetics, this conversation is going to go far beyond skin deep. So welcome, Ashleigh.
Thank you. I am just so happy to be here. First of all, I just love seeing you in your element like this.
Thank you.
Anytime I've been with you, I always feel like I've been talking to a sister. And just to see you doing this, it's just an honor to be here.
Thank you.
But also all of the content that has come from this, I'm like, does Mindy know how wise she is? Because it is so good. And so I'm just honored to be in the seat with you today.
Thank you so much for coming. And, you know, with that wisdom comes some crazy life, right?
Yeah.
And no
Absolutely.
pressure, by the way. I
Right.
mean, I knew you were in the sports industry and were a reporter. I wasn't aware about the Emmy part. I was not nervous because, again, I feel like you're a sister. We bonded immediately when we first met. And now I'm like, oh, I'm interviewing somebody that did this for a living and won Emmys doing it. So no pressure. No pressure here.
I always like to keep that one in my back pocket, you know.
No, we need to let the world know.
Slide it in there, you know.
No. We got to let the world know. And I feel like that we have this kind of, you know, back home Midwest kind of connection.
Yes.
I mean, we just went to George Strait and Chris Stapleton together for my
Sure
birthday.
Sure did.
That was the best concert.
Yes.
We dressed it up and did the whole thing.
Oh yeah, we were whooping it up.
We
hooting
were.
and
Our
hollering.
men were like, what in the world? Our friends were like, what? Who are they? Well, you've obviously reinvented yourself in such a big way. What gave you the courage to pivot careers? Because now you're in this beauty industry. You were, you know, interviewing, you know, sports and doing all the things and doing great at it. It wasn't like, oh, this isn't working out for me.
Sure.
Right? So what made you kind of pivot in that way instead of just playing it safe and keep doing what you're doing?
It's interesting because now I'm over 10 years into aesthetics and I was over 10 years into being on television. And so now that I am at, you know, this seasoned stage of like my second career, I'm able to look back and just see that this happens in so many different people's lives, even in yours right now. I mean, you're a nurse, but look at you, you're creating content.
In my 40s.
Right.
Yeah.
And so for me, what I always saw something bigger for myself outside of television, which is kind of crazy because TV within itself is pretty big, but the hustle aspect of, I was a freelancer my entire career. So I was never full-time with one single network. And so doing that for as long as I did, it kind of made me fall out of love with the industry for a little bit. But I also felt like I believe that people are born with natural skill sets, right? For me, mine was being on television, communicating with people, making people feel comfortable to talk and tell their stories. But I had something within me that was like, girl, go for more.
Yeah.
You're meant for something a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
And I always had this desire for leadership. And so finding where I'm at now in my career, seeing that this is probably what it was, you know, building to, and I'm not even probably at the peak of that yet. I just think I'm so glad I held on because it wasn't easy in the earlier months. And when I first moved to LA, it was definitely a struggle. And I was just like, what am I doing here?
Yes.
You know, and I was kind of lost, but I'm so glad that I held on because now it feels like the pieces of the puzzle are coming together.
Right.
And so I will probably reinvent myself again.
I think you're gonna do that many times. I'm learning that as I'm like going like towards the end of 40s now.
Yes.
Like there's just kind of no stopping. That's why you see these posters of me that I'm doing these magazine covers that I have to imagine myself in other roles.
Totally.
Right? Was there a moment when you realized like, I'm just kind of playing it safe here. You know, I can do more than this. Was there a pivotal moment, or was it just kind of
I would say in 2015 when, you know, I was covering a lot of international soccer. I covered the U.S. men's and women's international soccer team, and it just felt like a chore. And I didn't enjoy it anymore. I never want to have that in general in any area of my life. I don't think that like every day is going to be a holiday, but the fact that it felt like, right. And it felt, I was like, okay, something's got to change here. I don't know what.
Yeah.
I had no real guidance saying like, this is what you should do next. I remember packing up my apartment in Columbus, Ohio, because I was getting ready to go home and move with my mom and dad.
Ooh,
and I had
how old do you mind tell me how old you are back then? Or?
I was probably like 30 or 31.
Wow. So you left Ohio like at 30. Wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I felt like a total failure, you know, because I was getting ready to go home and move with my mom and dad. And I had a friend who works in plastics out here. And I was like, I just want to change. Like, I can't be in my mom and dad's house. I can't do this, you know? And he said, I think I have a job for you in LA. Wow. And it was working sort of as like front desk, sort of personal assistant for a facial or for just a regular plastic surgeon here in Beverly Hills. And I was like, I'll take it. And I talked to him on the phone for 45 minutes. I got the job, and 2 days later, he like flew me out here, and I started work that Monday.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Now, were you just wanting to come to LA, or you just happened to talk to this friend who had the potential job, and LA it is?
I was wanting to do anything to avoid moving back home with my mom and dad.
I know that feeling. It's so funny you say that, because when I wanted to move to LA, I felt the same thing. I was 21 and I thought, I'm from a town of 2,000 people in little Arkansas, no stoplights. And I thought, I just don't want to like stay here. Like, what am I going to do? And I'll probably end up, you know, marrying a farmer and be a school teacher, which is great.
Right.
And my friends still back there, they're the happiest ever. But there was something I always wanted to get out. And I met a couple on an airplane on a trip out here one time, my first flight ever, and called them a year later. And I flew out a week after that, and they gave me a job, and I drove out there a month after that.
That is just incredible.
It's crazy.
Yes.
But there's something in women like us
yes.
that's kind of deep in us that we got to go explore. We got to go do more.
Absolutely.
Right?
I think it's like an inner feeling of not being comfortable to settle or stay in a certain place. There's like a stirring up inside you where you're like, I know that this is not where I'm meant to be.
Absolutely.
And I always want to have the courage to listen to that.
Right. Did you have fears? I mean, what fears did you have? Because I look back at that time for me at 21, and sometimes I'm like, who am I now? I'm so fearful to like sometimes get on the freeway, and I'm like, I drove out here by myself. I'd never been in a city with stoplights before, and I was so fearless.
Totally.
But did you have fears back then?
I had a lot of fears. Yeah. I came here with $200 and 2 suitcases. And most of those suitcases were probably filled with fears that I was going to fail, that I was going to have to go back home.
$200? Okay, I at least came out here with $900. I worked at my uncle's liquor store for the summer and made some money.
Oh yeah, I had nothing because, you know, the TV industry, as glamorous as that may seem, until you hit a certain point in your career, I was paycheck to paycheck. Wow. And that was even being on national television.
And that's like even after, you know, proving your work is good or Emmy, like it doesn't matter. That's shocking to me.
And my first job on television didn't even pay. So so you just do what you can do. And my first job on television didn't pay. And I also worked at Sephora. That was how I made money. And I would literally go from interviewing Tiger Woods to taking the closing shift at Sephora, cleaning the bathrooms, wiping down the makeup counters, doing all of that. Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
I mean, I would want to work at Sephora like the shift before I'm going to interview Tiger Woods so I can at least get
do
all
the makeup and then go in there.
Get the little glam first.
Totally.
That is wild.
I know.
You were just trying to get in the industry?
Just trying to get my foot in the door. And I would make these little packets of my like CD that was like my demo reel with a paper copy of my resume, a headshot, and a business card. And I would seal it all up, and I would hand it out to anyone and everyone that I possibly could. I would take them with me to every single game that I covered. So when I worked for ESPN, I wrote for ESPN, the magazine. So that opportunity got me into press rooms, got me into locker rooms, anywhere and everywhere I wanted to go.
And then you can connect, right?
And then I could connect. And the amount of people that probably got those demo reels and everything is like embarrassing to think about. It's so funny. So I actually recently connected with someone out here not that long ago. And he said, did you know that you and I talked back in 2012?
No,
and
were you thinking, did you see that demo reel?
Yeah. He looked up my name in his email and he was like, yeah, you interviewed me about a job opportunity back in 2012. And I was like, stop it. That is so funny.
Well, welcome to LA, where we also think that it's this big world, and then it can kind of be a small world depending what industry you're in. I swear we're related, because when I graduated nursing school, I got a folder and I put my resume, and granted, I don't even have experience.
Right.
And I put in, like a photo. I did this whole little folder thing. And I just went to hospitals and went to the HR department and was like, are they hiring? Are they hiring? And I literally think I got my first job out in Glendale in the ICU. And I think the woman gave me the job because I wouldn't stop harassing the educator.
Listen, sometimes
that's what you got to do.
That's what you got to do.
You got to get some experience,
totally.
Somewhere. That is so funny. Oh my goodness. What fears did you have to work through changing industries? Because now you have this job out here in Beverly Hills. You're not on television, right? And which fears turned out to not be real at all?
I would say majority of them. I think in general, fears are typically like a projection of things that you are worrying about that haven't happened.
Probably won't.
Will never happen. It's worst case scenarios that you're putting in your head. And it can really be, deflating to your confidence. I just thought that I was never going to get back to the place that I actually am today. I felt I was so proud of the work that I did on camera, but I felt like it kind of didn't pan out the way that I was thinking. And I thought to myself, is the confidence and pride I have in the work that I do on television, is that ever going to be restored in me? Because I went from, like I said, interviewing, some of the top athletes and traveling the world with them to now, moving out here, feeling like I have nothing, almost having to move back in with my mom and dad. Yeah. I also think so much of that is character building.
Agreed.
And there's nothing wrong with anything that I went through to get me to this place today.
Absolutely.
I manage a team of a significant amount of women, and a lot of them are in their younger 20s. And when they tell me some of the struggles that they're going through, I'm like, you're gonna be good.
It's so hard though. I mean, I literally, interviewed my stepson, and I met him at 12 and now he's 21. And the things that we talked about even at that age, and then now at 21, like he gets it now that he's kind of able, and he's still got a long ways to go, but he looks back and I think, oh my gosh, you don't know what you don't know.
Totally.
During that time. We know it now in our 40s, but you don't really see it, or kind of know it later.
For sure. So I think the whole, message to that is to just keep moving.
Yeah.
Do what you can every single day. Just don't stop.
Yeah. Was there something to kind of, learn even more? I mean, again, now you're at a front desk. How was that transitioning to a different job? Or you just like, I'm just trying to make money right now?
Sure.
Did you have a big goal in mind at that time?
I didn't at that time.
Besides not moving back with mom and dad.
Right. But I knew being in these plastic surgeons' offices, I knew at the front desk, I'm going to meet a lot of people here.
Yes.
And whether I stay in this industry or maybe I position myself for something else, I should try to make this the best experience possible for them so that they remember me.
Right.
And some of the closest relationships that I have here in LA were from my first job. And
really? Wow.
Oh yeah, because I met so many. Now he's a plastic surgeon. His name is Dr. Nicholas Nikolov, and his clientele is very high end. People flew from all over the world.
Were you intimidated?
I was a little bit because I had no clue what I was doing or what I was talking about, but I never said no. So I first started doing things, things for him around the office, and then that, morphed into me helping get his center accredited and making sure we were staying on top of credentialing and everything like that.
Wow, so more administrative
Yes,
stuff.
yes. And then doing things where I was like handling, maybe some patient care. And I just said yes to everything. I want to learn
You're like,
everything.
I'm a nurse today.
Yes.
I'm an administrator tomorrow.
Yes, totally.
Yeah.
And that has just prepared me so well
Absolutely.
for everything.
I love that mentality too. I always tell my husband, he has a orthopedic, surgeon. He's an orthopedic surgeon. He has his practice. I'm like, whoever you have at your front desk, they're like your gatekeepers.
Totally.
And that's the first impression you get when you walk into
sure.
an office.
For sure.
You may not even know, what they're saying or whatever,
Right.
but I love your mentality of like, even just the connections of like, I'm going to meet people.
Absolutely.
Look, that's how I met you.
I know.
I met you through other people.
I know.
And then you just kind of, make these connections. And that's, I think that's people like us who do what we do.
Totally.
We end up making the best friends. We end up, getting these opportunities from people, that we meet.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, I have to admit, I did look you up, I saw some old videos
Google.
of you.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know who, I said, this woman has aged backwards.
Yeah.
I mean, you look 20 years younger right now.
Funny how that works, isn't it?
I don't know. I don't know that I've been able to accomplish that.
Right.
So I think I need to spend some time. What do you think leaving home, and just on the touch of how we, kind of left home, what do you think that has, just taught you just about, your roots being in the Midwest and being out here in LA? We know that world is not
Totally
easy.
I'm so glad that I was like planted in Ohio, but blossomed in LA.
Yes.
Because the foundation of who I am, even before I moved to LA, was set. Yeah. I was
so true.
I was not willing to do certain things.
Yeah. You're not the typical LA girl.
I am not.
Yeah.
I am not. I am an Ohio girl through and through. Yes. And I think that is what has allowed me to have genuine, authentic success, because here a lot of people look successful, but you look behind the curtains and you see a totally different situation.
Absolutely.
And what I have is real, and so that comes from knowing who I am, having a firm foundation, and not, questioning any of that or doing anything that could maybe jeopardize any of that.
Or even just compromise your integrity or your character.
That's exactly the word.
I'm guessing you probably had opportunities to do that.
Sure.
I'm just a guess.
Yeah.
Because this is LA,
Totally.
Do you ever get, you're surrounded by beauty all the time. How has your definition, and obviously I think as we grow older, get more mature, how's your definition of beauty evolved? I mean, you're around this industry all the time.
Right.
How do you think your definition of beauty has evolved?
I would say for me, it's now the more that a person is secure and an individual within themselves and really confident in that to me is what makes someone really beautiful.
Right.
Growing up in the 90s with that era of supermodels, if you look back at those types of photos, they all look unique. They all have a different look, right? And it could have been something that was just unique to them. Maybe their hair was a different texture. Maybe their nose was a little crooked or something that was unique to them. And I miss that. I miss where things weren't so cookie cutter and everyone had the same nose, the same lips. And perhaps we are jaded by it because we live in LA, where this is, the plastic surgery capital of the world. So I miss that. And so when I meet women and beautiful women that come into my office and they are, running their race in their lane, focused on what they have going on, too busy to compare themselves to anyone else, I find that to be I just am attracted to that type of person. I want to be around them because I just think that's inspiring.
Yeah. Well, you exude that too.
Thank you.
Yeah, you really do. And it can be a little intimidating. I was even telling the crew today, I'm like, when she walks in, she's like stunningly beautiful. Like, I got to go put on a dress and do my hair. Nicole, can you put some little powder on my nose? But there's this disarming, feature that you have of you to where somebody just feels so comfortable. And you don't always find that in LA.
Sure.
And I always say, my husband, I don't think he would marry me had I not been from the South, because I just think he was not going to be with just kind of a typical, LA girl. Not to say that all LA girls are like that, but it's just a different vibe. They're just kind of this good-hearted. I think that's kind of the roots that we were instilled. I like what you said, that your roots were already planted, but you blossomed in LA.
Totally.
I love that. Please tell me you made mistakes and you did not great things too, right?
All the time.
Why is somebody laughing back there? Because you may have
Not
known.
me.
You may have known about me doing some not so.
Not me.
Not great things. Anyway, moving on. We were just talking about some not so great decisions that Anyway, what? I know it's all recorded too. Sorry. I wasn't on Playboy or anything. Leave me alone. What do you think the difference between enhancing yourself and trying to fix yourself? Because you say you come in contact with all these women that are coming in. Because I don't think it's bad at all. Lord knows I love a good plastic surgeon. I love doing different things, but I'm sure that you can spot people who are trying to fix something, maybe even within themselves, or fix something rather than just kind of enhance. Do you see that a lot?
Oh, yes. So part of what we do in our practice is, we uphold a very high standard all across the board, everything that we do. And one of the things that we do is when a patient comes in for a consultation, we have them fill out a body dysmorphic sheet. Because we don't want people who are hyper fixated on things that it's never going to be perfect, and it's never going to be good enough for them. And what they're really looking for isn't plastic surgery. It's something else.
Something kind of internal.
Correct. So we try to screen that as much as we can over the phone even.
Yeah.
And, let them know that this probably is not going to be the best fit for you. And that's something that I love about Dr. Nassif, is because he does have so much integrity behind the work that he does, that he really wants to help people that really
be the best version of themselves.
Correct.
Yeah, I like the word enhance, because you're not, I may fix the little bump on my nose, which I did do. But at the same time, it enhances my future, right?
And there's nothing wrong, in my opinion, at our best. What it is that we do is we help restore confidence to people through the power of aesthetics. Yeah. Now, that is oftentimes, it's people wanting to return to a version of themselves that they haven't felt like in a long time. And I totally understand that.
Especially after babies or all this.
Babies are like, maybe you're in a season of your life where in your 60s and you're like, I just want to age where I want to look how I feel on the inside. So you want a facelift. I think that's healthy, right?
Did you hear that, Dr. Alana and Tebby? Ashley said it's healthy.
It's
to
healthy.
Get a facelift.
So come on in.
Yeah. Consultation happening 3, 2, 1.
Yes.
It's so true.
Totally.
I think, again, we always talk about how people who they'll be more inclined to give you a bad review, right? If something's not happy. And I love that you do that sheet, because it kind of prevents you from getting these unrealistic expectations.
Absolutely.
Right? Because then you're never going to be happy. You go, oh, look what they did. They didn't do this, or they didn't.
Right.
Right? Because even in orthopedics, it's like, if you don't have the right expectations,
for sure,
I'm going to be pain-free after that. No, you're not.
Right.
You're not going to be pain-free. You're going to want it tolerable, but then people write online, oh, I wasn't excruciating. You're like, no, you got to assess the situation first, right?
Totally.
Or maybe lose weight before you go for that knee replacement.
Right.
There's maybe things we got to work on within ourselves before we move on to the next thing, right?
It's very much a part of what we do as well within our practice.
Tell me what you do. Just to complete, you says program director, right?
Practice director. What
do you do? I know you can throw a good party. So
sure.
What do you do there?
I do everything but the surgery.
Yeah. I was going to say, you do it all. Yeah. I love the picture you had posted with you and Dr. Nassif. I think it was yesterday when it was like, you were doing this here.
Yeah,
what are we doing? Yeah. Not till Monday.
It's a Monday problem.
Yeah.
So as the practice director, so we have Dr. Nassif, we have a CEO, and then there's myself. And I say our CEO is the brains, Dr. Nassif is the heart, and I am the pulse. And I just keep our operations running on a smooth, sort of program. I run a tight ship every single day.
Wow.
We have a huge operation. So we see a lot of patients.
Right.
Sometimes we get on average 85 phone calls before noon.
Oh my goodness.
So we are in demand.
Right.
And I'm really, I'm a huge advocate for patient care and patient experience. So that's a huge bulk of what I do. But I do everything all across the board, making sure that my patient care coordinators are hitting their marks, making sure that my patients are getting the best pre and post-op care.
And
making
safety, you have to deal with safety things too. Yeah.
Everything.
Was it
everything.
intimidating going in? Obviously, Dr. Nassif is known kind of in the world of, plastic surgery. Is incredible, has a great reputation. Was it a little intimidating going to work for him? I remember when you were either interviewing or you had just gotten the job. Was that intimidating at all?
I think what was intimidating was not necessarily Dr. Nassif himself, is because he's great.
Sure.
It was the scope of work that I was taking on and the size of the practice, because it's huge and we have multiple providers, and there's the med spa, there's our esthetician. We have an element of wellness in our recovery center as well. So there's the red light therapy, IV therapy. There's our surgery center on the 4th floor. There's so many moving parts that just making sure I have my pulse, finger on the pulse. You know what I'm
look
saying?
At you.
Hey, bring it all together.
If I had to ask you to check my pulse, would you know where that's at?
I think so.
Yeah. I had Cedric the entertainer here. He was trying. He was getting there. Yeah.
I'll just call the nurse if not.
Ooh, call the nurse if not. I love it. This girl's been in television.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. I think that intimidated me, but not necessarily working with Dr. Nassif.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, even just talking about all those things, I want to let's all go to the spa.
I know.
Let's go get all the treatments. She even brought goodies. Thank you. I can't wait. Well, what do you think? This is what scares me. I mean, I have a daughter, 19. Social media was not around when I was her age. Do you feel that just the culture of social media has kind of distorted beauty standards?
I do. I think it has made it seem unobtainable.
Yes.
And that uniqueness is now seen as a flaw. And I also feel that it puts an immense amount of pressure, particularly on women of all ages, to present themselves in a certain way.
Yeah, look a certain way.
Totally. It scares me for young girls the most, because I'm an adult, I can say, what is real, what's not, and all of that. I feel that it probably is something that needs to be regulated as far as, young children and teens having access to all of that.
Other countries. Yeah.
That's how damaging I feel like it could be.
Yeah. Well, and just there's the whole mental health part of it as well. But I mean, I could see where somebody could come in and say, before I even, my friend wanted to have me join her aesthetics practice. She's a nurse and we've worked together for years. And I'm like, I cannot work in that industry.
Right.
I'm like, it's too vain. There's people like me that come in and want these certain things, and I'm just not going to be able to give it to them, or they're going to, I don't know how you can please sometimes that world. But I think that the era of social media has made it almost, like you said, unattainable. If I go in and say, I want to look like, I don't know, I want, Kris Jenner's, face, but I don't want surgery, or you know what I mean? Like, can you imagine I'm wanting to look like somebody who's in their 70s? That's how fabulous she looks, by the way. But some of that is not all real too. Some of these images, right? I mean, do you battle this, like these are filtered and women comparing themselves to what they should look like online?
Sure. And we see that, we say that, we, talk very openly and very candid with our patients about that. We try to be as real and as transparent and also very gentle, because there are certain things, most of our surgeons are facial plastic surgeons. So we're from the neck up, right? And so, if someone has a slight, maybe a little hook in their nose or something that's very minor that perhaps not everyone is going to see, that's very sensitive to them. So you do have to kind of balance these things. and be gentle with that, but also knowing what is a good stopping place and what is a good boundary.
Yeah. And it's a good surgeon when they're like, okay, no.
Yeah.
Like
Dr.
not,
Nassif says
like,
no all the
like
time.
Not anymore. We're not going to do that or go.
Totally.
Or go see your therapist or go work on your inner child. Right.
Right.
Like we got to do some, we got to do some work. How do you personally consume beauty content? Because I'm sure that you at least kind of consume some of this or see it because you're always there without letting it affect your self-esteem.
Right. Right.
I mean, you're not, I guess immune to it, I would think. I know you're confident, but I don't know. Me being around these gorgeous women all the time and just that industry and even just online, do you feel it ever kind of gets to you, or what do you do to kind of protect yourself from that?
I definitely find myself, I would be lying if I said I don't ever compare myself.
Sure.
But the moment I feel that kind of creeping in, I stop. And I focus on, first of all, I live a very blessed life. So I just focus on the things that I can control. Sure. But I am also like the ultimate consumer. Okay. I love
I like that. The ultimate consumer.
I love the masks. I love the red light therapy. I love the lymphatic power plates. Like I own all of these devices.
So you
and
do
things.
all.
I do it all.
I mean, look,
I love it all.
Wow.
I am a well-maintained girly.
Yes, you are. It shows. Yes,
and
you are.
It brings me so much joy. You know, I don't look at all of these things as vanity. I look at a lot of it. Like I do red light therapy every morning. I do my power plate.
I'm sorry, every morning.
Every morning.
What time do you get up in the mornings?
This morning I got up at 4 a.m. Up at 4 a.m. So I am, early bird gets the worm, girl. That is me.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
That is some motivation right there. Oh my goodness. Well, I'm a little older than you. Not much, obviously. What's your best advice for someone like me, or maybe even younger, who want to age well? You obviously have done it. Do you mind me saying how old you are?
Yeah, you can say.
41?
I'm 41. I like to call it 40 fun, but
40
I'm 41.
Fun.
Yeah.
Do you know what? When I turned 40, I was like, well, I'm not in my 40s though. And my husband's like, yeah, you are. I'm like, no, I'm not 41 yet. When I'm 41, I'll be in my 40s. But right now I'm just 40. So 41, you look amazing.
Thank you.
Oh my. So I'm not trying to look young. Not at this age. Maybe some days trying to. How do you want age well?
Sure. I think there's nothing wrong with wanting to look your best. Instead of women always say, I don't want to look young. You don't have to want to look young.
Yeah.
You can want to look your best.
Right.
And I don't think there's anything wrong with that because I feel like that is a reflection of self-respect and how you take care of yourself. And so if for any woman wanting to look their best, I would say the foundation of what everyone should be doing is taking great care of their skin.
I know what you're going to tell me. I know what you're going to tell me right now. Stay out of the sun.
Yeah. Took the words right out of my mouth. Yes. It is stay.
Hence why I need that facelift we're talking about. Or some Botox or a little something. Yes.
Yeah.
It's sun, isn't it?
It's sun. I think I believe in having 20 minutes of exposed sun every single day. That's with no SPF. That's really good for your body.
Just vitamin D.
Just to get your vitamin D levels where they need to be.
Yeah.
But other than that, you need sunscreen and being consistent. The most important thing for those skincare products to work is consistency.
All right, listeners, quick nurse to patient moment. If you have ever needed an MRI or CT scan, you know that waiting can feel like its own diagnosis. That's why I want to tell you about Advanced Imaging Center. Advanced Imaging Center has been serving the community since 1998. And with 4 locations in Lancaster, Palmdale, Valencia, and Ridgecrest, California, they make care easy to reach. They offer early morning appointments, evenings, and even weekend hours because life doesn't wait, and neither should your health. They have everything under one roof. MRI, open MRI for those of you who get anxious like I do. CT scan, ultrasound, mammograms, x-rays, biopsies, even bone density tests, and nuclear medicine. They take insurances like PPO, HMO, Medi-Cal, workers' comp, and even offer discounted cash prices. So if you need imaging or someone you love does, visit aicscan.com or call 661-949-8111. Advanced Imaging Center, bringing clarity to the moments that matter.
So the most important thing is consistency with high quality skincare ingredients. And that is something that any woman from her 20s to her 80s and 90s can be doing every single day, and getting on a regimen and a routine with that and sticking with that. There will never be enough alcohol in this world for me to consume that I do not take my makeup off and do my skincare routine every single night.
Are you serious?
I am being so dead serious. Yes. I don't play about my skincare routine.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, I want a list of all of that as well.
And it's not as extensive, but I'm consistent.
That's what I was going to ask you too, was how much of this do you think is good genetics versus just consistency?
It's probably a combination, but I would say consistency
Can outweigh it.
absolutely.
Can
Absolutely.
overpower it.
Totally.
Those darn
There's
genetics.
enough lasers, there's enough corrective treatments that women can be doing to combat the genetics, and that the consistency with the skincare is so important.
Wow. So you mean my mom letting me use the tanning bed at 11 years old probably wasn't a good idea?
Maybe not the best.
I mean,
I was a baby oil girl growing up. Like, I was slathered.
we were frying in the sun. And then I'm entering a pageant, so I need to go to the tanning bed at 11, 12 years old.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why I go to the dermatologist often to check those, little spots, right?
Absolutely.
Oh, with the sun, that one's a hard one. I've
I
gotten
know.
better at sunscreen. We just got back from Florida, hat and sunscreen, but I knew you were going to say that. I didn't even want to ask you because I
Sorry.
knew that's what was going to happen. But if someone could invest in one thing for their skin and their confidence, what would it be?
Well, I mentioned skincare, so I'm not going to go there, but I do feel that the world of lasers and microneedling is growing rapidly. And I think those treatments are yielding great results for patients. And so, again, you will hear me say this, and I say it to my patients all the time. Getting on a regimen, even with those type of treatments, booking your appointments, making sure you're getting your microneedling done, feeding those results with great skincare, that's going to do so much for patients.
Wow.
And now we're at such an exciting time in the field where you can boost those treatments and results with things like PDGF, which is platelet-derived growth factor, which is a topical treatment after a microneedling, and or any laser, and it will take your result to the next level. Not only will you heal at a faster rate, but you'll notice your skin looks tighter, your pores are smaller.
Nice.
You just have a natural glow to you.
Wow.
And I want to just set an expectation for any of these non-surgical services. It will likely always need to be done in a series of 3 treatments.
Yeah.
So if
I've
a
heard
patient
that,
comes in and says, oh my gosh, I got this laser and I'm not happy with my result, and they did it one time, we set the expectation that you may see a little result, but after that 3rd session, you're going to be loving your skin.
I think that's the hard thing sometimes too. It's like you do kind of want the one and done, but it doesn't work that way. I mean, I ended up doing a CO2 laser, which I loved the results, but it's been a year. I need to do it again. I blew up like a balloon.
You had a great result.
And my husband's like, who or how much did you pay to the man who burned your face off? Right? Because it's a little scary looking. And that's what I get afraid of sometimes. Like, oh my gosh, like what's this, gonna do? And at the end of the day too, some of this can get expensive. I mean, there's a lot of treatments out there that can be really expensive, but do you feel that there's like an expensive treatment that's out there that you really don't need? And she's like, no, they're all good. They're all good.
I love them all.
They're good, right? I mean, or are they all worth the hype?
Treatment that you don't need. A lot of people are injecting PRP into the under eyes and in different areas of the face. It is expensive to draw the blood, to put it in the centrifuge, to do all of that.
Yeah, my husband does that with knees and hips.
Yes.
It was weird when I saw people doing it in the face, but
I think there's better ways to do that. And for what I know people are charging, I don't think that is necessarily totally worth it.
Interesting.
Yes.
As opposed to just doing microneedling and some of the lasers
Sure.
and again, skin.
Yes.
That's what I feel your theme is like just a regimen.
Rest.
Be consistent.
Yes. Yes. That is what I'm a huge believer in.
Goodness. What do you feel for you? What does taking care of yourself really mean for you? Maybe outside of just facials and treatments. What else do you? Because I don't think it's just like kind of what you said earlier. I think there's stuff inside too, right?
Totally.
We may have this, glowing,
Right.
freshly CO2 lasered face, but there's still something that can still kind of show. I mean, what's taking care of yourself for you?
Sure. So for me, the foundation of my life is my relationship with God and spending time in the Word of God and serving. And whether that means, just holding the door open for someone, I always want to have a heart and a posture that ultimately my purpose here is to serve people. And that probably looks different in different seasons of my life, because I feel that even at my current position, although I may work at a plastic surgeon's office, I get to serve those people every single day. And some of our patients spend their whole life savings to get their work done with Dr. Nassif or something.
Wow.
And when I learn about any of our patients, and just in general, I want to give them the best experience that I possibly can. And so I try to serve them in that, I try to serve my team to show up as the best leader for them and to help grow and develop them as women. And so that for me is taking care of myself, is making sure that my heart never gets to a place where it's calloused and hard, but it's open and pure, and that I'm willing and able to serve people.
Wow.
And so that is it for me.
Yeah, it's like a level of gratitude,
Totally.
right? Our lives have been blessed. That's how I feel too, of just trying to be more grateful.
Yes.
Because when you do that, you feel better, you look better,
Yes.
right? And I do like, getting a little dolled up and doing, and you do when you feel good. I mean, you look good, you feel good, but sometimes I feel like there's a lot of inner stuff that we need to take care of, and before we go and do all of these things. But
I think
you've always been that way too.
Thank
that it was
you.
this just serving, always doing the little gifts, the little thoughtful things. You've always just been so kind.
I do believe you shine from the inside out. Confidence starts on the inside. Happiness is an inside job. All of those things. None of this stuff, especially when maybe you've gone through seasons that you or I have, where you've had things, you've lost things, and you've had them again.
Yeah.
You realize that material possessions hold no weight, right?
Yeah.
There's no real riches in those things.
Yep.
And so then that's when you can understand the meaning and value of people. And that, I think, for me, has helped me serve people better.
Yeah, we've been talking about, Alon and I have been talking about that, my husband, because I'm entering kind of this stage in the late 40s, going through perimenopause. And I'm assuming that you guys get women like this. And just wait, honey, if it hasn't hit you, just wait. It's coming. But it's so true how you feel. It's like it can really affect me. And I do feel like in this even season where I feel like I love to serve, whatever, but if I'm not feeling good, like it's hard. I've enjoyed going to work lately because I feel like when I'm really down or I'm just not in a level of gratitude, like I said, I would rather live in a cardboard box and, feel healthy and feel myself. Right. But I go to work and I would take care of my patients. And I'm like, okay, I got
for sure.
I'm getting it back. For sure. Because I just get really, I'm like, what is this? I look in the mirror. I'm like, what is happening to me? I don't know who I am.
Sure.
I got to get back to the basics because none of this other stuff
totally
really matters.
Totally. And if any aspect of your health was taken from you, you would have a total shift in your perspective of how, although it may be a challenging season, just how blessed you really are. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that for me is what I try to live my life by every single day.
Not just looking, but really the whole person.
Oh, is there anything worse than meeting someone who's beautiful but completely hollow and shallow on the inside?
I didn't want to say that, but yes, you're right. I'm glad you said it because I am around it a lot lately. And I feel like even that has even shifted with who I spend my time with.
For sure.
And what circle of friends I have, that I feel like a lot of that has even went away because I I don't know if it's just my age. I can't be around it.
Totally.
Anymore.
Totally.
It's just a different world. Do you feel like is it ever too early to kind of start these treatments or too late?
I think that there's like a huge trend right now in like young girls using skincare.
I know it's getting, that's a little different.
To me is a little concerning because, the skin does have natural barrier layers to protect itself. And so introducing acids and things like that at too young of an age.
But that's social media.
I know.
I mean, that is where these young girls we're talking about.
It's so wild
it's like
to me.
social media, right?
Totally.
And I've also heard that once you even get to a certain age, like there's no amount of creams,
right,
and injections that are gonna. It's time for surgery,
and you can become immune to Botox even.
Oh, I know. It's right there. I'm immune. There is I could go get a can, botulism, and just inject it. It's probably not going to work for me anymore.
So I do think that, fixating on these things too young can be a little damaging.
Yeah.
And, like I have some girls in my office that are like 23 and they're getting Botox. And I'm just like, for what? You have no lines on your face.
Do you know what you're going to look like in like 10 years? You're worried about it now. Oh my goodness.
I know.
Wow.
So I try to manage that the best that I can. But to answer your question, yes, I do think there is too young of an age.
Sure.
Do I think there's too old? I mean, potentially for really deep wrinkles and things like that.
But then there's other options though,
totally,
right? Yeah.
Totally.
There's always something.
Yes. And as long as the expectation is set for the outcome, I don't think there is like too late of an age to try.
I know my husband's like, you don't want to start doing all this surgery, this early. I'm like, no, I think you need to start it, at 50. So I told him I wouldn't do anything until I'm 50.
Right.
But I don't know. After this talk.
People always ask us, what's the perfect age for a facelift all the time. And
wouldn't it be different, do you think? Or
I just believe it's when you feel like you're ready.
Right. Yeah.
Because you don't want to do something too soon. It's a major surgery.
Yeah.
And so you don't want to do something too soon. You want to do it when you feel ready.
Right.
And if it's a great surgeon, they can give you a great result at any age, under any circumstance. And so that's what I believe in as well for plastic surgery. It's that there's no right age to do these things. It's when you really feel that you look in the mirror and you're like, I want to feel like myself again.
Yeah, it's time. See, I did that.
Yeah.
It's happening. My husband will always say, pain will make you do crazy things. And so he'll have these people who come in who are like, doc, my hip's hurting and I need surgery. And he'll be like, no, we're going to do this. And like, almost like they think it's time.
Right.
Like, no, you'll know it's time. You'll
Right.
know it's time when the pain, you cannot handle the pain anymore. And that is how he will like, you're not ready yet.
Totally.
Right. But you will eventually know, okay,
Yep.
enough is enough.
Yes.
Well, outside of being completely beautiful, inside and out, one of the things I've really admired about you is just how like strong, bold, independent, grounded. I mean, just meeting you, you kind of exude all those things. I am, relieved to hear that you do struggle too sometimes, right? With self-esteem.
Yes.
You're single.
Yes.
You're beautiful.
Thank you.
You're grounded.
Keep going.
Yes. You are in shape and you are so smart, intelligent. I mean, you really are. You really are the whole package. How did you become so secure in yourself and not having to like chase relationships? Because even as long as I've known you, I haven't really known you too long, but you've never really struck me as someone that had to be in a relationship. Where do you get that? Is that back to those roots again? Or?
I think it goes back to those Ohio roots.
Yeah.
For as long as I can remember, first of all, I was raised by incredible parents. My mom and dad are
so important, right?
the best parents that anyone could have ever asked for. Like, I don't know how I got so lucky to call them my mom and dad, but they really instilled in me that, whatever it is that I am dreaming or whatever it is that I want to accomplish, I can do it.
Yeah.
And I think from a young age, I was a big dreamer. I had really, really big dreams as a little girl.
Ya.
And I was in an environment that fostered that I could accomplish those things.
Wow.
And so I've never been afraid to go for things, although maybe some fear had set in and maybe scared me a little bit.
Sure. But if you had that safe place, right, to land on,
totally,
we had these amazing parents.
Totally.
Right.
So it never stopped me from going for things. If anything, I was, raised by a mom and a dad that, pushed me to build the life of my dreams. And it wasn't always like with a person,
Yeah,
and
it wasn't always having to be tied to somebody. Like your success wasn't going to be because of somebody else. That's another, 100%. I think, sometimes happens in LA. 100%. Or I'm going to meet a rich man, or I'm going to, even people with me now, they'll be like, "Are you still working?" It drives me crazy. Why wouldn't I?
Right.
Why would I stop working? I mean, I really love it. Like, it doesn't have to be tied to, someone else. Right.
And like, that fulfills you.
Right.
So why would you do that? Why would you stop doing that if it's something that brings you purpose and passion and it's fulfilling to you? So I think from my personality in general, I don't think I'm the type of person that would make a husband or a boyfriend sort of my whole identity.
Right.
I'm just not like that.
Sure.
And thankfully my life is set up in such a way that there's so many exciting things going on in it that that's not the case anyway. And so for me, I just kind of focus on that. And it's been like this, pretty much. I'll never forget one time when I was working for ESPN, the magazine, and I was talking to my mom about interviewing LeBron James. And I
love your mom. She is the sweetest human.
She really is. And I said, okay, well, I'm kind of nervous. And she said, why? And I said, because Mom, it's LeBron James. And she goes, yeah, but you're Ashleigh Ignelzi. And I'm like,
okay,
period.
Mom.
Okay,
Mom. See, that's what young girls need.
That's who raised me.
Right.
So.
That shows. That is what we need to get these girls off of social media and surround them with, what Mama told you.
Totally. And I tell the girls in my office all the time, develop yourself, learn another language, get a hobby.
Yeah, never stop learning.
Get a hobby.
Yes.
Challenge yourself in different ways.
Right.
Take a class. Go
travel, see other cultures.
Have a mentor, have someone that, you look at their life and you're like, what, I want to take her out to coffee. Just constantly be developing yourself.
Wow. That is amazing. Man, I feel like I'm at church right now.
Yeah, girl.
I love it. Hallelujah. Do you think confidence, this is my last question, but I really want to go get some treatments and do all the things.
Yes.
Yeah, look at all them. Yeah. Let's do it. Actually, before I ask you this one, is there any belief that you had to unlearn to step into the woman who you are today?
Sure. I would say, I think a lot of times we place a big emphasis on being qualified for certain things. And I just would love to let people know that if you're being called to something or if the opportunity is calling you, you're already qualified. So to not second guess that. And I definitely have had moments where, I was just in Dubai with Dr. Nassif and these meetings we were taking, and I'm like, I can't believe I'm sitting at this table in this room. Most of the time, a lot of the times I was the only woman there.
Wow.
And I'm like, you know what? I belong here.
Yeah.
I have worked my tush off to get here.
Yes.
I am educated. I can stand on the knowledge that I know. I bring something to the table. And that is why I am here.
Yeah.
So don't let this moment fall by the wayside because you don't feel like you belong here.
Right.
Girl.
Right. Or even this, I'm not against college, obviously.
Right.
I mean, we all win. I'm guessing your college degree is not in aesthetics, right?
No,
or administration
not.
or
No,
anything, right?
No.
And sometimes we, even starting this podcast was like, well, who am I?
Totally.
What do people want to, hear from me? And it didn't matter. It's like, it's something I want to do.
For sure.
Right? All of my, as you said, the wisdom that maybe I've learned along the way is because of my life.
Yes.
But that's a really great belief to unlearn.
Yes.
Right?
Totally. Yes.
And not let a college degree or anybody else really, define what you can do.
And this world will definitely try and put you in a box if you let it.
Absolutely.
And so I would say if people have passions, if you have something that you want to go after, explore, go for it.
Absolutely.
Don't let the opportunity, fall by the wayside. Don't be scared to even just, learn a little bit something new or try something. Go for it. Because if you don't, this world, like I said, will try and put you in this place and keep you there. And who knows what could come from just going outside of your comfort zone and trying something new.
Yeah. It's kind of like what they say with like Brene Brown, right? What's that quote when she says, if you're going to go through the world looking for evidence that you're not enough, you're going to find plenty of it. It's kind of focus and attention. Whatever you focus on is what you're going to, you're going to exude.
Yes.
If I'm focused on all the ways that I'm not qualified, that's what you're going to present.
Yes.
Right? Well, you need to go speak to like young women and do a TED talk or something.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would love that.
Yeah. I mean, you heard it here. You heard it here, folks. Last question. Sort of, because I want to keep going, but I know somebody's going to make me stop.
Yeah.
Do you think confidence comes from achievement or alignment?
I think this is a great question. I think confidence comes from...
did I just make?
I think she stumped me.
Like an Emmy Award woman, like be able to think about a question. I love it. You said you made Bobby Knight cry, right?
I did. I made Bobby Knight cry. That is my claim to
that
fame.
That is impressive. That is impressive.
I think it comes from alignment in knowing who you are and what you can achieve. Because I definitely...
They go hand in hand.
Yes. And I think ultimately for me, confidence is something that cannot be taken. I don't want someone with a better resume, more degrees. No one can take the confidence that I have, right? So that to me is real confidence. And so I think that comes from aligning yourself with your beliefs, your values, your goals. And then all of that goes towards what you're able to achieve. Right. So that for me is probably what I would say how confidence.
I agree with that. I think that's so true. Had you asked me that, 10 years ago, I'm not sure, but because I know a lot of, I guess achieved people or wealthy that really are insecure or
for sure,
or not confident or not happy because they're just kind of not aligned with what they want in life.
Totally.
Right? And I think as I've gotten older, there's something beautiful about being in your 40s.
I agree.
There's something really not beautiful too. But I really feel you come into this place of knowing who you are, knowing what you want, getting rid of kind of the fluff around and really, becoming this confident woman. You really exude all of those things.
Thank
I feel like I just want to go have like coffee with you. And like, don't you guys? Like, I want to go and
Let's go.
He was telling someone earlier, like, we got in late. He was a little tired. I'm like, man, I feel so pumped up right now. Like, that's what you do. You really are in the right industry. But I really, you got more coming. I feel it. Like there's
an inner stirring happening.
I can tell. I feel it. I'm not even like, in your, immediate atmosphere. And I feel like there's something there. Like you really have a gift to empower women. And I feel like there's such a message, like these younger girls who are watching the social media, like you need to fill the social media full of these messages instead of how can I get a big booty or something. Not that there's anything wrong with that. In fact, I could use one of those, but well, thank you, Ashleigh. And thank you for bringing all the great gifts from Dr. Nassif's office. And maybe I'll be doing a consultation and see what we can do. But I really appreciate not only just your beauty wisdom, but just your life wisdom, your confidence. It makes me want to, just eat up all of that and be a sponge around you.
Thank you so much.
I'm just so grateful and grateful God brought you into my vicinity.
I know. So. I remember when I was here for the launch party and to see where it is now. Girl, you're doing it.
We're getting
so just
there.
Keep going.
Well, like I said earlier, you got to surround yourself with people. If I don't know what I'm doing, you got to surround yourself with people who do.
That's smart.
And Nicole's great with sometimes when I'm just feeling like, I don't know if this is for me. And she'll be like, okay, girl, I'm going to be there, an hour early. We're going to have, a talk. No, you were made for this. Like,
you are.
You kind of got to get your hype people around you, right?
Totally.
We're really hard on ourselves. So that's what this did for me today. So thank you so much. Thank you for joining Call the Nurse. I will see you again next shift. Thanks for listening to Call the Nurse. I'm Mindy, navigating life one shift, one story, one breath at a time. If today's episode resonated with you, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who just might need a little life support. Until next time, breathe deeply and heal gently, and I'll see you next shift.